What is the origin of your collaboration with Diane Keaton on the film? How was it developed? And when did the themes of the documentary break through to become the final form we have today?
Well, I was in charge of business affairs at RCA Video Discs when Diane's manager, Arlene Rothberg, came to see us and pitched us this film.
Okay.
We were uh, interested in creating content that nobody else was creating, content that was different and might cause somebody to buy a video disc. Um, the format that we had at RCA was obsolete the day it came out, but we worked on it for a couple of years before we became RCA Video Productions, where we finished the film and actually uh, arranged for its release. Um, we had nothing to do with the concept
Okay.
or its execution
Okay.
other than clearing the music and making sure that all the clips were clear, and then taking on distribution, putting the film into Cannes in the director's fortnight. Uh, we flew Diane there. I wasn't sure she'd get on the plane, but she did. And we uh, we had a press conference and it was packed with journalists from all over the world. And then we took her out to dinner. That was a lot of fun.
What can you tell us about the mind of Ms. Keaton as she was making her writer director debut with a documentary, no less, after observing the film industry so far as an actor to that point?
Well, Diane in real life was very much like her characters on screen. She was very quirky, very funny, very sweet. And she, as I said, had complete creative freedom to do this, which was not normal in the business at that
Right,
time.
right.
And
Is she?
well, this was something that she was fascinated with.
Hmm.
And she just loved the editing room.
Ah,
And in those days, it was film, right? And she was cutting and pasting negative together.
right.
And we have this wonderful picture of her in the editing room smiling. And she said that uh, if there was an afterlife, she would like to be uh, finding clips and putting them together. Um, she she had a unique spirit, and I really remember her fondly.
In your observation, how were these interviewees gathered in the production preliminaries? They come upon them, and what was the impetus behind Diane having her relatives part of it, and not many notable names except for Don King and Victoria Sellers?
Well, I don't know what her motivation was, but I can tell you that the concept of the film is that there are a lot of opinions about heaven, all
Yes,
kinds of opinions.
yes.
And there are evangelists, and there are normal people, and there are crazy people, and they all have crazy ideas. And she just wanted a big uh, group of people to interview. Uh, the studio that she interviewed them in was in Venice, California. And there are a lot of offbeat people walking on the boardwalk in Venice, even back then.
Yeah.
Uh, I lived in Venice from 1974 to 75.
Ah,
Um, and it was much calmer then than it is now.
yeah.
But she made this film in the 80s, which I believe was a little different than my experience in the 70s.
Sure.
Um, and the people, some of them I think she just took right off the boardwalk. Uh, some of them maybe from Hollywood Boulevard. I don't really know. But that's part of the beauty of the film is
Yeah.
all these crazy people and all these normal people, and even her relatives, they all have a concept of what
Right.
heaven might be like.
Right.
And when it's done, it creates a need to talk to your friends and relatives about what you think.
Well, you talked about, getting the music rights and everything. Were you guys involved in the clip rights to the various films she used in the in the film in the
That was
documentary.
totally Diane and her
Ah,
relationship with studios.
okay.
And she had a Beverly Hills lawyer. And, we had to review the clip licenses and make sure that
Right.
we had them all. And okay, there's an interesting story about this,
Okay, good.
um, which is not normally known, though I've mentioned it in a couple of interviews.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we had a number of independent distributors at that time were pursuing us for this film.
Hmm.
And we decided to go with Island Pictures because, Chris Blackwell, who discovered Bob Marley, was one of my heroes, right? And I thought, well, this will be great. What a wonderful thing. And but Chris didn't run the company, he just owned it. And I don't want to blame him for this, but
Right.
when the time came to pay us our MG,
Right.
they didn't pay.
What is the MG?
It was an advance of seven hundred and
Oh,
fifty thousand
oh
dollars.
my. Oh my.
They
Okay.
didn't pay it. They didn't pay any of it.
Wow.
And we were like, you owe us this money. Can we please have it?
Sure.
And their scheme was to try to get away with with not paying it because maybe our uh, clips had not been cleared, but they had been cleared. So this went on. We sued them, and it on in court for a long time. And we had a Beverly Hills lawyer too. And finally, I'm on an airplane from Paris to Cannes, going to Midem, I think it was, the music conference.
Okay.
And everybody on the plane was pretty much going to that conference. And the guy next to me, I asked him if he was going there, and he said yes. And he uh, he handed me a CD, which was his latest artist, his latest release, and it
Mhm.
was Melissa Etheridge.
Okay.
And I looked at the CD and looked at the back of the CD and saw the Island logo on it.
Oh
And I
no.
said, who are you? And he said, well, I'm Chris Blackwell.
Oh my
And I said, well, I'm Arnie Holland and I'm suing you. Are you going to pay us or not? And a week later, they paid us.
God.
We
That's amazing.
settled it. Yeah. Total accident on an airplane. And he was really a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I don't, he didn't acknowledge that he even knew we were suing him.
Amazing. Well, so the editing is by Paul Barnes, who had also edited Say Amen, Somebody, in the Weavers documentary beforehand, plus was a primary editor for Ken Burns throughout his career. I mean, as this edit was distinctive and part of the feel of Heaven, uh, do you did you get any insight to his and Diane's plan for creating the look of the film?
We loved it. It was
Great,
different. It was
great.
what we wanted, something different. And we got to work with a wonderful talent. And,
Yeah.
we didn't tell her what to do, so we were not involved in what the editor and Diane did in the editing room. I know that she didn't just leave it up to him. She was there.
So, apart from your anecdotal story about Island, what was the theatrical release atmosphere and strategy like in '86 and '87 in the movie business? And what
Well,
was it?
we we,
Go ahead.
we were we were producers. We
All
were
right.
executive producers
Okay.
specifically, actually. And there were three of us, and we had no idea how to release a film.
Okay.
I was young. We were all kind of young, and we had one guy who was a little older. Uh, and So we decided we were going to license this to an independent distributor who
Okay.
knew what to do.
All right.
And when a bunch of them were making offers, we just picked Island because of their music reputation. I came out of the music business, and
Right.
I thought this would be really a great relationship to have. Turned out uh, to be a problem because the film was released. We had this great poster, which is still the key art for the film. And uh, Diane was responsible for the art direction of that poster.
Hmm.
Uh, they did put it in a bunch of theaters. Uh, it wasn't it wasn't reviewed very well,
Huh.
uh, and the New York Times panned it.
Oh,
But
brother.
but now the New York Times is raving about it.
Of course.
It was different. I was worried that maybe we'd have pickets from the
Right.
evangelists. I was actually hoping for that because I thought
Yes,
that
exactly.
that would be good
Publicity.
publicity. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that didn't happen. And Heaven Island kind of gave up on it and sued us. Or no, we sued them. Island gave up on it,
Yeah.
and then they did put it out in home video. And I don't I don't know how well it did.
Mhm.
Then we got the rights back and we put it out.
Very good.
And I've been working it since 1987, and it was pretty quiet until a couple months ago.
Sure. Sure. So there was a balanced theology in the doc, including the concept of deities, Jesus especially, and the absorbing optimism that an afterlife exists. As part of the production team, I'm sure you were answering in your own mind all the questions that were posed in the doc. Was your personal philosophy changed about the afterlife after experiencing the production?
Not really. I was always an agnostic.
Yeah.
Diane went on the David Letterman show, the Late Show,
Hmm.
and he posted the clip of that on his uh, uh, YouTube channel
Hmm.
after she died. And I don't know if I ever saw that, but it was great. And
Interesting.
he asked her what she thought about heaven.
Hmm.
And she hesitated for a second, and then she said, I believe in the possibility of heaven. And that's kind of what I believe. And I believed it before the film and after the film. I don't really know. I don't see how
Nobody
anyone could
knows.
know. Nobody, no, it's unknowable.
Right.
No one has gone there and come back, although people say they
Say
have.
they have, but yeah, the mind's a really bizarre thing when you're in a death situation. So, I was most fascinated by the questions about earthly pleasures. For example, the feeling of sex and the hope of rewards in an afterlife, which speaks to the thesis that we really do have heaven on earth. Do you think that an ardent belief in the afterlife takes the eye off the ball in our time here on earth, or is it just part of the human experience?
I don't think one has much to do with the other,
Okay.
unless one is depressed. I think we need to enjoy life right here on this planet. And that part of the segment of the film about is there sex in heaven was my favorite,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, it was.
I have a T-shirt still that we put out. We had promotional T-shirts that said, "Is there sex in heaven?"
Nice.
And that was what we were trying to push as to intrigue people.
Very good. So you are president and owner of Lightyear Entertainment, have been recognized in your career as a pioneer in home video entertainment. In the transition from physical media like VHS, DVD to digital, what are the challenges for your business and the business of artists in the digital age? And what will the industry have to get used to?
Well, digital saved the business as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, we have a catalog. A lot of it isn't going to maintain its shelf space
Right.
in Walmart or other brick and mortar situations
Sure.
because the sales velocity isn't enough. And so people now have an ability to find content that they want to see and maybe
Right.
will love.
Right.
And it increases the shelf life of a film.
Sure.
Uh, maybe you see it first in a theater, maybe you see it, on a big streamer, maybe you see it on an AVOD platform like Tubi.
Right.
And AVOD is wonderful. I mean, I prefer to watch my movies without commercials, but
Uh-huh.
it gives a second or third life to a lot of films that would otherwise be on a shelf in a storeroom. And the challenge, though, now
Hmm.
is that there are very few pay one deals, very few uh, big streamers who
Right.
are looking at independent product.
Right.
They tend to use studio product only or stuff that they are creating themselves you know, and it is very hard to get a deal now for Netflix or Hulu or Disney or Paramount. And industry consolidation is making that even harder.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, However, there are smaller platforms that are very interested in our films and do well with them. So
Good.
we just don't get that big chunk of money that we really
Yeah.
would like to get. We
Yeah.
used to, almost every film we put out used to get on Netflix or Hulu, and now it doesn't.
Okay.
And so we have to work with a different uh, model of
Right.
how we're going to recoup. Now, with Heaven, uh, since she passed, we had theaters contacting us from all over the place wanting to screen the film. And
Interesting.
so in LA, we screened with the Philosophical Research Society on a rainy night, and the place
Wow.
was packed.
I can believe it.
And then they wanted to do it again. So they did, and it was
Nice.
packed again. And I did
Nice.
Q&As there myself
Oh, nice.
with them. And I love talking to a room full of intellectuals about the unknowable.
So, in reading your biography, I was struck by the number of bold-faced named artists that you've done business with, besides Ms. Keaton, including Jane Fonda, Stevie Nicks, Kevin Hart, Nina Simone, and even Pete Best of the Beatles. In your journey working with these artists, what influences about that life have you picked up over the years? How has it informed you? And who was the one name that you really wanted to meet and did it fulfill your expectation? So a three-part question, basically.
Well, the most important artist for Lightyear has been Jane Fonda.
Yes,
I don't think our company would exist without her.
interesting,
Uh, and we still distribute the workouts.
amazing.
And they still sell, not like in the 80s, but they
Right,
still sell.
right.
And I love her. I love her in every way. She's like uh, my hero.
That's great.
I love her politics. I love her resistance. I love her spirit.
Yeah,
And and she did this thing with us that was at that time we had no idea what was gonna
sure.
who was gonna watch the workout. Uh, I had met Jane at after school night. Our sons were in class together at the Santa Monica Alternative School,
How about
and
that?
uh, that was in 1979,
Yeah,
and then in around uh, 82, we we agreed to co-produce the workout. And I don't know, I thought maybe men would watch it to watch the women dance around. But it turned out that every woman in America had to do the workout, including my wife. And
Wow,
now those women have daughters and granddaughters, and they're still interested in it. And we
that's
did like
wonderful.
14 of them with her.
Wow.
And
Now,
with
she actually took part of the profits to, oh, she did it. She was motivated to do it by the fact she wanted to fund Tom Hayden's, was it Tom Hayden's
yeah, it
political
was.
movement? I mean,
You-
it's
you-
incredible the story of these workouts.
I didn't know that at the time when we
Okay,
first made the deal. Uh, um, Not that I have a problem with that. I
right,
think it's great.
right,
I
right.
met Tom Hayden once. I met her other husband, Ted
Ted
Turner,
Turner,
once.
Ted.
Yeah. Um, uh, yeah, I didn't know that she was using the funds for that until I saw the HBO documentary.
Yeah, same here. Finally, back to Ms. Diane Keaton, who lived an uncompromising and from all viewpoints a successful life without marriage or somebody supporting her or the other usual patriarchal elements. What kind of heaven do you think she went to, and do you believe that both in what she achieved in her life and with her passing?
I don't know anything about what she is. Um, as to
That's the
what she
best
achieved,
answer ever. Yeah.
her body of work speaks for itself,
Yes.
and you know, she very much is Annie Hall. She was
Yeah.
that person. And you know, sure, she's played many different characters and they're all different, but um, there's you know, there's that very quirky, you know, humor, and she finds humor in a lot of things. And yeah, I don't know. She remember the three of us each got globes for Christmas one year from her. They were a globe of the Earth with a light bulb in it, and so it lit up. I had that for a long time.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2026.